Welcome to the first of 6 bold experiments. Welcome to Pacific Island Playlists. This is not an Australian story. This is not a desert island disc, though we are big fans of both. Here's the idea. The Pacific contains 25,000 islands. You flew over a bunch of them on the way here. The idea is, if cast away on one of those islands, what would matter to you? What are the things you would want to hold on to? What would be the legacy you would provide? Well, this conference provides all sorts of famous speakers. It doesn't give a voice to the less famous speakers. And even though this feels like the kiss cam at a hockey game, our goal here is to introduce the unique... Nothing, I tried. To introduce the unique, the unheralded, the fascinating, and the disruptive. And with that in mind, I am thrilled to introduce my first castaway, Kirill Musa. Now, this has a big focus on music. So please tell us about that gorgeous piece of music and why it means so much to you.
So that piece of music is by an English band called Dore, and it's called Medicine. And I'm a dancer, but I'm also an ICU registrar from Royal North Shore Hospital, and I think that song combines two of my loves, medicine, but it also made the decision for me to dance actually on stage today. So I think some of the troubles with the job is that it can be all-consuming and it can take too much from you. And when I first heard that song, I think it reminded me how much I love dancing, and actually that was the reason I was on stage today. So I think that's why that's why I chose it. So.
It's glorious, and it clearly resonates with a lot of us. But go deeper if you could, please. Let's imagine you have a hypothetical, overweight, boot-casted interviewer. Why should he dance? Surely the body is just a machine that takes the mind between meetings.
There's a beautiful quote by a dancer called Hans Boss, who said, when I dance, I cannot judge, I cannot hate, I can only be joyful and whole, and that's why I dance. And I guess for me, the reason I dance is because as a very shy, introverted person growing up, it gave me a voice. And when I'm dancing, I don't feel anything. I feel weightless and free, and I think a lot of us probably share that feeling sometimes, you know. When you're dancing, you're joyful, you know. And I think for many of us who look after patients, the trouble is the sicker they are, the less we want to move them. And I think probably something important to think about. I think our bodies are primed to move. So keep moving, keep dancing, and be joyful and free.
You've got them, Kirill. They love everything you say. This is good. So there's a lot of talk about flow, a lot of talk about being present, a lot of talk about finding your joy. Mm-hmm. Would I be right in thinking for some people that's reading, writing, quiet time, escaping to the beach, but for you it's movement?
Yes. So this is like the most terrifying thing I'm doing, by the way. Like, this is way worse than dancing on stage. So I'm definitely not a natural, public speaker. I find the prospect of that actually quite intimidating. But when I'm dancing, I think it's almost, I'm not who I am. I think I'm something else. And I think all of us have some things in our lives that give us that feeling where we sort of, feel that we're not working at all. We're just being, and yeah, dancing is it for me. So.
Would it be fair to say it feels like being home?
Yeah, definitely. And I guess as someone who has moved around a lot, my dad's a diplomat and shunted around different continents all my life. Finding home has always been a bit of a struggle, and I think that question is always a tricky one to answer. But yeah, when I'm dancing, I'm home.
Wonderful. We have about 30 seconds to go. I want to give you the last words, but I also want to give another piece of music the last words. Tell us what piece of music we're going to go out to.
It's a song called Mama's Praise by a singer-songwriter from the UK called J.P. Cooper. And it's a song essentially that reminds me that there's always people out there gunning for your success, even if you don't think so. And it always brings me comfort. So.
Marvelous. Thank you so much. Piece of music, please.